Coming up, Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party. Welcome to the SeeWDW Near and Far podcast, where we explore perspectives of the Walt Disney World Resort from 10 to 1,000 miles away. I am Mike the Far in this equation.
I'm John, the near.
All right, this is our first live YouTube broadcast, so welcome everyone, and bear with us. This is, like I said, our first attempt, and we'll see how things go. So we're going to talk about Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party, which John attended last night. But first, how'd your week in the parks go, John?
Well, this is actually a couple weeks, and honestly, I haven't been in the parks a lot. But I did want to mention beforehand, I am going to share a screen with you to kind of allow you to go along with my time in the parks with some added pictures and stuff. It's not the final version of it. And I also wanted to mention to anyone that never heard of us before, we've been doing this for years, so this isn't new. We just decided to incorporate it into YouTube to allow some visuals to help with, help make the podcast more interesting. So, all right, and I am probably going to mostly appear like this, which will help with streaming and help so you don't see my constant fidgeting and looking around, looking at my phone, and I tend to always be doing something. So I think for streaming, this may be a better option for me. So anyway, my week in the parks, I'm going to go back. It's actually a couple weeks, but again, there's not a lot to it. I went to Epcot, and let me see when. Oh, August 16th. Yeah. My wife and I decided to go to Epcot because she's very jealous that I always get to ride Guardians of the Galaxy. Typically on Sundays, I like to go out there and get the virtual queue. And so we did that on this Tuesday, the 16th. I got up in the morning, easily got the Guardians virtual queue, and And here's the other thing too, and I know everyone knows this for the most part, but you don't have to show up in the time period. I think they called us by like 11:30 and said, you're ready to ride Guardians. We didn't get there till like 5 o'clock, and again, it was not an issue. They don't have a problem with that.
So no harassing cast member or anything?
No, and it's weird because with the paid one, they kind of did that. They kind of they kind of scolded us for coming in too late. But anyway, we rode Guardians, and the interesting thing I found with it was, we rode it great as usual. It took 49 minutes in the queue line, which to me, that's kind of a long time. For a virtual queue. And again, I think it's because so many people like me, and we get our virtual queue in the morning and show up at a later time. So I honestly think that's kind of I'm part of the problem for that 49 minutes, but I just wanted to mention that because the wait is getting pretty long in there in that queue line. And as much as I love the queue line, I've seen it so many times now that it's just not as interesting as it used to be. So on this particular trip, I went with my wife, and whenever I go to the Food and Wine Festival with other people, they like to actually try things, and which is something I should be doing too. So let's see. We were interested in the Shimmering Sips booth. My wife wanted to try the guava mousse. I guess it's some type of cookie cake, but that turned out to be pretty good. You could see it there. And I don't like coconut, but this coconut you see on top here, it's actually cooked, so it was like a crispy coconut. So that was actually good. Didn't bother me at all. The raw coconut I absolutely do not like. And again, 475 guava mousse, that was very good. We also tried the wild mushroom beef filet mignon, and my wife is allergic to eggs and milk, so we got it without the sauce. But again, it was good. It was a little expensive for what you get, a very small piece of steak, but it was.
It looks good.
Yeah, it was good. And what else did we do? We didn't do a lot else. We looked at some of the merchandise, and we actually bought these things. These are pizza plates, and we just thought they were really cute. The cast member there went through all of them to make sure. She said there were a lot of defects on them, and she wanted to make sure we got a good one. So.
Really? Defects? So they put what is it from the manufacturer?
Yeah, like bubbles in the paint and things like that. But she went through and checked a bunch of boxes and made sure we got a complete set that everything was good on. So
like the pizza boxes themselves, what is the deal with them?
Well, no, it just looks like a pizza box, and inside, it
has those things. Okay.
Yeah, I think there's actually 6 of them inside the pizza box. And again, okay. we always liked the fun Disney plates. I don't do a lot of souvenirs anymore, but almost every plate I use is some type of Disney World plate. Yeah. So.
Those are really cute.
Yeah, there's a little bit of the merchandise too. Again, since we're doing the YouTube version, it's nice to be able to share with people, basically what we looked at. And let's see, we basically walked the World Showcase, and they had a bunch of Tiana merchandise, which I don't remember seeing before. There's a powdered sugar, whatever they call that thing that you strain with for beignets. It's like some towel sets. Anyway, I thought that was nice. Honestly, we didn't do a lot else at Epcot that day. I was, I got a couple of monorail pictures with the sun coming down. I always like this spot. Like if you can get a monorail, the sun, the flowers in the foreground, it's always a good one. Mm-hmm. And we tried one more thing before we left, and I know I'm late to the party, and I often am. I am not the place to get the most up-to-minute news and this and that. But we did get the Fry flight that everybody's been talking about, and I thought it was very good. Like they were all great. My wife absolutely loved the sweet potato fries. That was her favorite. Mm-hmm. And the fry flight, $7.50. It's a lot of fries. I thought it was great. I would definitely do it again. Here's a little. They give you a little card here that explains what they are.
Yeah.
And again, this is why
Pretty
it
neat.
helps. This is why it helps to be live. I'm not that good at explaining things, and I always say I give the regular guy reviews. The fries were good. This visual here will show you, well, what exactly are they? And there you go. You could pause that or look at that if you want more. Um, we stopped at the gift shop, and I don't know how new these things are, but there's new Star Wars mugs too. I'm not really that into the new Star Wars stuff, but my wife loves to collect Starbucks mugs, so
Sure.
we got a couple of those just to keep the collection complete. So
I
that's
love the fact when they do that it's pretty obscure like stuff, like things that really appeal more to the fans of the shows and the movies because I mean basically what they put on there is the name of the planets from, like the Mandalorian, and like Octo is a planet that was in the new Star Wars, the Star Wars sequels. So, that's only a fan thing. Oh, I love that. Look at
I know.
that.
I don't know why this one just stuck out to me. I just can't. It's like that popped right out to me. I was like,
I
wow,
love that. That's
that's a
great.
really nice shirt.
Man.
Like I said, that's classic Star Wars there.
That is, that's great.
C-3PO.
I love that.
But that was it. And then I went to Pennsylvania for a few days, so I didn't get back to the parks until I think it was I think it was Thursday. But here's the nice part: I can actually look. Who needs a memory when I can have Google tell me it was Tuesday the 23rd? So I went to Universal on Tuesday the 23rd. And let me see if I remember how to do this. I got to change my avatar. Now I'm at Universal. So I'm doing the CUO avatar.
Yeah.
And for anybody wondering, I have this turned off because it's better for streaming when I'm sharing my screen. Plus, I don't really like to see myself too much. So we'll go back to that. So on Tuesday, what I really wanted to do, I decided I really want to go on the water rides again at Universal before it gets cold out. And when I say cold, I mean not, upper 90s and super, super hot. Because at Universal, the water rides get you really wet. It's not it's not something you want to do when it's cold at all. But unfortunately, as has been the case lately, it started raining right about when we got there. And before I left, I checked the weather app, and it said by 5 o'clock, everything's clear. We got there at 5 o'clock, and everything was not clear. That's when the rain started, as a matter of fact. So we got there, we decided to go to Islands of Adventure because Horror Nights is coming up, and we're going to spend a lot of time at the studio side starting next week. It started raining pretty good, so we decided we are going to head into Poseidon's Fury. I've only ridden it or experienced it once since the new since it reopened. And yeah, here's the queue. And for those of you that follow me, you'll notice like I changed my camera settings recently, and I have been able to see in the dark a lot better. Like before, this queue was so dark that the camera couldn't even see it. I with the I put it in 4K 60 feet per second and turned HDR on, which I forget exactly what that is, but it basically adds background light in. So I was able to see things, like I said, a lot more.
That's just it, because HDR is a high def recording, and it allows for for so many more colors to come into your recording.
Yeah, that's what it is. Like before, you couldn't see this at all. Like you can see the details in there now, where before it was just dark.
And running at 60 frames per second, it allows you to your camera to take more, to add more frames, which allows for higher def. So it makes sense. I mean, it's just it runs a lot smoother, for you.
Yeah, and just so everybody knows, we probably will figure out a better way to share these things. But this is the first live stream we did, and this was the easiest way to show you the visuals of what I'm talking about, at least to a point. I would like them to be bigger, clearer, and that's going to require more prep time for me. So if people actually watch this, it may be worth doing. But anyway, we went on Poseidon's Fury. I really enjoy the ride. It's or the attraction. It's just a walkthrough show. The water tunnel I just showed you, though, that's the best part. Obviously, like that's just such a cool part. But the other parts aren't that bad. Like the last scene, it's definitely cool. It's got water, fire effects. Like the entire room, you're in like this box, and it takes the box away, and it's kind of corny, but it's not bad though. It's definitely worth seeing. But let's see. We went into the Halloween store in Islands of Adventure, and you can see they have the new merchandise there for Halloween Horror Nights. I won't get into that too much. I'm sure we will talk about Horror Nights a lot more as time goes on. But not too much, because I know people who don't live around Florida don't really want to hear a lot. There's a Little Boo Christmas ornament.
Oh, very cool. When's your first Horror Nights? When's the first time you're going to go to?
Well, I think it's next weekend, actually. So that'll be fun. Then it was still raining a lot, so we decided to go on Forbidden Journey, and I really enjoy Forbidden Journey. The queue is great, the ride is great.
I gotta tell you, I think Forbidden Journey is one of the best rides in Orlando. I know maybe that's a little, iffy for some people, but I just think it's an excellent ride. There's so many surprises and twists and turns and things like that, and
I feel the same way, and even more so than Gringotts. Like that's a good ride.
It is.
But Forbidden Journey, there's just something about it. And here's my favorite scene too, since I happen to have it up, where Malfoy comes and body checks Harry Potter, and he says, "Showing off to your Muggle admirers, Potter." I don't know why that always makes me laugh. I just love that part. It's always been a favorite, and we always liked Malfoy, I just like the character for some reason. But anyway, we did that, and that's pretty much all we did at Universal. It was still raining. It said it was going to continue raining. When we got home, here's a double rainbow from the front of my house that I looked at.
So we have pretty? A
rainbow here and a rainbow here. It was a full double rainbow. So there's a little really personal stuff. That's cool. The neighborhood I live in.
You have people showing up to your neighborhood now.
Yeah, go ahead. I don't mind. We're friendly people. So now we're going to last night, and I am going to do this part here, and then the actual party we can talk about in the main section. Okay. But I was thinking at the end of the party, it's going to be late, and typically I just run out of patience by the end of the night. I don't want to wait in a huge monorail line. I don't want to wait for the crowds at the boat to load and unload, and I really just want to get away from people, honestly. So I told my wife yesterday, check the Grand Floridian and Contemporary for any dinner reservations that would put us where we could eat and then go to the party. And the only one that came up was Citrico's.
Hmm.
And I have never eaten at Citrico's before. So, I was excited. But honestly, I thought Citrico's was Narcoossee's, which is the one that's out by the water, by the boat dock. That's what I thought it was.
Yeah.
When I got there, I was like, well, where is Citrico's? Well, it's on the second floor of the Grand Floridian, right next to Victoria and Albert's. And again, I did not know that because you would all be surprised at what I don't know, which is a lot. So anyway, here's a couple that's a video. The view out of Citrico's, I mean, it overlooks the property. It's very, very beautiful place. Let's see.
And where is that located at again?
It's on the second floor of the Grand Floridian.
The second floor. Okay.
Yeah.
And so again, you kind of go up. You go up top where you're looking over the lobby area, and it's up in that area. Like there's a store up there and stuff, right? And there's like a little bar, like the
oh yeah, it's like the Enchanted Rose or something like that. But anyway, I honestly did not have a lot of experience eating at the Grand Floridian. That one never came up. When my wife was a cast member, that one never came up on the 40% off list. Like nothing there, except for the Grand Floridian Cafe occasionally would. And I did eat there, but these were always full price. And you can see the menu there. I don't know if you can read it or not, but I asked the waiter which is more popular, the strawberry salad or Citrico's house salad, because they both sounded really good. And he said the strawberry salad. So I ordered that. My wife and I both ordered the oak grilled filet mignon. I tend to try something different typically, but almost every time I look at what my wife gets and I go, oh, why didn't I get that? Like that. So again, I would love to go back and try some of this other stuff. But I wanted to play it safe, and I can tell you, I think it worked out well because, man, was that food good. Although, for some reason, I am not seeing the actual steak coming up in the list here. Let's see if I can refresh and get that back. But anyway, the bread was great. The strawberry salad was really good. The steak was perfect. It came with broccolini and some kind of salad. Some kind of potato, like a mashed potato kind of thing. But again, it was really good. Oh yeah, now the steak came up good. All right, so we got a salad. This was the strawberry salad, and again, I ate all of it.
That looks interesting. How did it taste?
Oh, it tasted great. And again, I am not, it was just great. And again, I was surprised. Here's the bread. They give you two different types of bread. They brought oil out for my wife, olive oil. They gave me butter with, what is it? Here's a picture of my wife. Don't tell her I put that up. I thought that was a good picture, though. It shows the background, like where we were sitting.
She's got her ears on and everything.
Yep, she was cosplaying Ariel, I guess. So she had the flounder purse and wearing Ariel colors.
Cool. Very cool. That's awesome. She went in theme, man. That's cool.
Yeah. She got a lot of compliments for that too. Cool. So here's the broccolini, mashed potatoes, and the steak. It was so darn good. I loved it. But here's my one complaint. There was people sitting next to us that we were talking to, and from Pennsylvania. They live in Bethlehem, so
Oh,
it's a
okay.
small world. But they ended up getting the same thing as us. Their steak was like twice the size. They had twice as much broccolini, and I'm like, man, I like food. Why didn't I get all that? You know, but I mean, I don't need it. I was full. Everything was great, but I just got a little jealous, wishing that I forgot to change my avatar back.
Yeah, now you're back.
Yeah, so I was a little jealous because the food was so darn good that I could have eaten more.
Yeah.
But I guess that happens. But yeah, and then for dessert, we decided to try the apple rose because it doesn't have milk or eggs in it, and it was so good. It's I don't even know what it is. Marzipan Raspberry Jam syrup. I'll show you what it is. I think it's some kind of tart. I can tell you that it tasted like, you know, the pie in Mickey's PhilharMagic when they slide it out, and then
Yeah.
the smell of that. That's what it tasted like. It was
Wow.
so good. This is real apples in here.
Looks
And
amazing.
I don't know what the flavoring is, but my goodness, was it good. And this is like frozen coconut milk. It's like not even ice cream, but it was just great. We enjoyed that thoroughly too. We weren't even going to get it, but it sounded interesting. It's a rose made out of apple. And I was like, wow.
Looks amazing, man. That's really cool.
And yeah, when you walk out of the restaurant, this is the view you see. So that gives you an idea where you are. So that's the monorail back here, and the restaurant is right behind me here. So
okay, that's kind of where I thought it was. I wasn't sure that I had the right place in mind, but okay.
Yeah, and they've had the piano player recently a lot too. It always seems to be out.
I gotta tell you, like I'm not I don't really ever envision myself staying there. I mean, you never know, but I mean, and it's not that, you know, you can always find an affordable DVC place to stay there a night or two or something like that, just to stay there. So if I wanted to stay there, I would do it. But I almost think the piano, and when they had the band there playing, that would almost make it worth a stay, you know?
Yeah, the orchestra was amazing. They literally would have them up on the balcony just playing, or down lower. And man, I have some videos that were just so cool. Like the one video I have, a little girl was dressed as Belle from Beauty and the Beast, and the orchestra all stood up and they just started playing. And they started playing the Beauty and the Beast song, the Tale as Old as Time one. And I was like, wow, they literally created magic. That little girl went out and started to twirl in front of him and dance. And I was like,
that's so cool.
That is so cool. And there's something about an orchestra that is just, they can create a mood, you know, like when you think of the best movies and stuff, they all are orchestra. It's always that kind of music that sets it. So
you like to say, you know, you know, you're from Pennsylvania, so getting on a boat is kind of neat. I would say also something we don't see very often in Pennsylvania outside of, say, Philadelphia or Pittsburgh is an orchestra, right? Just a random orchestra, like somewhere playing a house. So, you know.
That really did make that very special. And just, my wife is allergic to milk and eggs, so she got the steak without the sauce on it. She got crushed fingerling potatoes and carrots. The carrots were just because she likes carrots. This was because the mashed potatoes had dairy,
milk and eggs. Yeah.
But anyway, she absolutely loved it too. So I might say that this is one of my favorite places to eat at Disney at this point. My favorite used to be the Wave. This is kind of better.
That's really high compliment. I mean, you've ate at a lot of different places there.
Well,
so.
since the Wave changed the Steakhouse 71, I have not enjoyed it anywhere near as much.
Mm-hmm.
But man, this steak was on par with California Grill and the Wave. And again, it's right next to Victoria and Albert, so it's probably the same food. So man, the food is top notch. Oh, and the waiter was excellent too. He did not leave us wanting for anything at all. Like he brought my wife so many iced teas. I too many iced teas actually, but it never stopped. But anyway, the service was impeccable. The food was fantastic. The only problem with this is it kind of sets a precedent, and unfortunately, I'd have to say this was the highlight of the night. So, which is not a good thing, but again, it set such a high bar that, you know. So anyway,
Yeah.
from here we went to the Halloween party, and I guess we could go right into it. But the
Yeah,
subject,
I did want to say that, interestingly enough, and this is a trend that we've been talking about the last several podcasts, and it continues today. But just looking at the dining on Disney today, Citricos has an availability this evening. So I mean, it's late, but look, I mean, you're this is the time to book dining at Walt Disney World because for whatever reason everything is available. And
well, this is a
you
Saturday
know,
night too, so that's pretty impressive.
that's the thing.
But
That's
honestly,
yeah.
yesterday we booked Citricos probably around 1 o'clock in the afternoon for 5:10. I was like, so, and when I was there, well, we 5:10 is early, but it was empty when we got there. By the time we left, it was much more crowded. So
Hmm. All right, so that's it for your parks until, or at least until we get into the discussion about the Halloween party. But the merchandise looks really cool that you noticed, and the Citricos thing. That's a great regular guy review. We're gonna have to
yeah,
get some kind of regular guy review. I don't know, like introduction or take like closing or
oh yeah,
something
and
like that.
and just so you know, in case anybody listens to, I know YouTube videos have a long lifespan. Um, I I'm pretty honest with my reviews, and you'll
Hmm.
probably notice that next with the Halloween party. I try to be fair but honest. And for example, we ate at Mama Melrose
Yeah.
a couple of weeks ago. It was absolutely terrible. I wish I didn't even go in there. It was that bad. Just not good at all. So
But for
again, I'm
full
not.
disclosure, though, with that, you did a previous review of Mama's Melrose
Yeah,
that you really enjoyed the meal. You
yeah.
you were complimenting it left and right, and the reason why you even went back there was because of what a great
Oh yeah,
experience you
I
had
remembered how
previously.
great the steak was, and it simply wasn't. It was really bad. But anyway, another thing I'll mention about food as an aside, quick. I recently got the salad. Did I talk about this? I might have a few weeks ago. But anyway, I got the salad again. The General So's salad from the Creation Cafe or Connections Cafe at Epcot.
Hmm.
The first time I got that, it was excellent. The second time, it wasn't good. The third time, it was okay. This last time I got it, again, the chicken was cold. The chicken was wet. The lettuce had a lot of browned pieces of lettuce in it.
Mm.
It went downhill drastically, and I love that salad. So just remember that when you hear reviews too. Just because something's good doesn't mean they're going to keep making it good. And unfortunately, like with the Creation or Connections Cafe, when all the vloggers went there, they made sure they had the chefs in there making sure things were good, and it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would wait a while and see what happened because again, I love that salad. I would probably get it every time I went to Epcot, but it's getting to the point where picking out bad lettuce and just not being the flavor wasn't there anymore. It just I feel like they even just cheap out on the ingredients. They put in whatever greens they have. It's not what it used to be. So
Yeah,
anyway,
I
that's
think that's important. You kind of hit it though. Like when the vloggers went there and stuff on YouTube, it was the the preview or whatever they had, and that I think they have a tendency to really up their game in those particular instances because they know it's going out to social media, and that is the impression that they want to make. So, but yeah, I mean, you hit that on that. Okay, so
all
we're
right.
gonna,
So we'll get into the party now, and
yeah.
as I mentioned earlier with Universal, lately in Florida, it has been raining a lot, starting around 4 to 5, just thunder, lightning, rain. And it's not the 5 minute or 20 minute passing storms that we're used to. It's lingering storms. And so uh, we got to the party around 6 o'clock. At least I think it was 6 o'clock. We'll ask. Oh no, 7 o'clock. Never mind. So the party started at 7, and I was in the park with my wristband on by 7:01 taking pictures. So I got there on time. And it was raining, and it was getting my glasses wet, my clothes wet, my shoes. You know how the drainage is at Magic Kingdom. There was big puddles everywhere, and those puddles continued all night. But they ushered us into the right-hand side. Had us corralled us through, and this gives you an idea of what you deal with when you first get there. Lots of bottlenecks, people trying to pass each other, just crowds and crowds everywhere. So that actually, I thought I had better ones than that, but that's okay. Basically, it was very crowded. Then the first thing I wanted to do was go to Space Mountain, and the reason isn't because it was mainly because it was raining, and I love Space Mountain. It's one of my favorite coasters. I don't ride it much. It said a 30-minute wait to ride Space Mountain, and I thought, okay, that'll give me some time to wait for the rain to pass. And I didn't realize. Well, I didn't think about it until we were closer to the front. The Space Mountain is one of the attractions with the Halloween twist on it. And let me just tell you, the Halloween twist is that they turn off all the lights and they play really loud music. And I have to tell you that I did not care for either of those things. I literally it jerked my head to the side at one point, and I literally heard like a click in my neck, and I'm like, and I usually love Space Mountain, but I love that everything's lit up with the starlight a little bit. Like here's the tunnel, like there's just nothing there. And again, I guess it's unique to have it with all the lights out and different music, but again, I need to be able to see the track just a little bit to get ready for it because it's a rough ride. So when I got off that, I thought to myself, I wish I did not just spend 30 minutes waiting to get on this ride because I just did not enjoy. I didn't enjoy it with the lights out. So.
What was the music like? Like, what kind of music was it?
I don't even know. I guess it's supposed to be like techno scary or something. It's nothing I recognized.
Well, that's what I mean. Was it like was it like spooky Halloween, or was it like
not really? I guess not really.
So it was kind of like a techno, like I guess that's kind of in theme.
But yeah, we got out of Space Mountain, and it did. You can see some of the puddles here, and these are the infamous puddles around Disney that you're always end up with wet shoes. So,
Well,
but
it cleared up at least, yeah.
Yeah, it did, but it was still raining somehow, though. In Florida, it's not uncommon to have the sun out and the rain kept going. But I can say the one thing that happened that I was quite happy about was if you look at these pictures, that is a really cool pink glow on the castle that happened.
Man.
I know part of it is the lighting, but part of it was the fact that it was an after rain, just a little touch of after rain sun came in, and it just looked really cool. And then seeing the pumpkin and stuff, like the color scheme of it and the lighting, I took a lot of pictures and videos of the castle right here at this time, and yeah, I really did. I really did like the lighting. It was just very unique.
Yeah, it looks amazing.
Yeah, let's see if you can see. Yeah, I don't know if it comes across through YouTube, but it's definitely very pink and very. The glow was really cool. And then after a couple minutes, I guess they changed the color, but they went on to a purple, which that was pretty cool too.
Yeah,
Definitely a cool look.
That looks great, even with that pumpkin lit up in the front. I love that.
Yeah, me too. But here's the thing, though. After this initial time, I couldn't get near that castle again to get any pictures or video because, my goodness, the crowds and the people waiting, and between the shows and the fireworks, and then the last show was at 12, and it was like, in my head, I was like, oh, I'm going to get some pictures of that later. Probably after the park's closed, I'll walk over and get it. But I never did. But yeah, I like that look too. Looking down Main Street. I know there's always people sitting in front of the statues, but this is what I like, the Mickey and Walt looking down Main Street with the all lit up and stuff.
What are those people waiting for?
I don't know. People, they do that a lot. So
I just like you spend all that money to go to that party and you're just sitting around waiting for something. I'm like, yeah, wow, look at that.
I don't know why I like that. Just Walt and Mickey looking down Main Street. But.
Yeah, that looks great, especially with that sky.
So then I went back to the front of the park to try to get some more down Main Street shots. And again, I just so everyone knows, my review of this isn't really that fair because I could tell you that if I did not have a Instagram account that actually was paying me money at this point, I don't think I would have went to this party at all. I honestly probably wouldn't have. So this party's not made for me. I'm not a big, I'm not the biggest fan of Mickey Mouse Halloween stuff. I like Horror Nights, so if I didn't have any social media, I'd still be going to Horror Nights. This I would probably do every few years. I wouldn't say I would never do it, but it would not be something that I frequently do.
And to be fair, as far as the crowds go, this was one of the first nights, right? I mean,
oh no, it's been going for I think since like the 13th or something.
Oh,
I think
really?
I think
so
this
it's
might
been
be
a couple weeks.
Yeah, like a couple weeks in. I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
And honestly, I think every one of these sells out for the most part. So the crowd levels I'm talking about are not unique. I think they're all just sold out. And I can tell you too, I went to these things, in 2017, 18, 19, something like that. Mm-hmm. In that time frame, you were able to do this stuff a lot easier, meaning you could just walk up and watch the parade, literally walk up and find a spot anytime. And it's like they have been sold out this year. You can't get a good spot for anything. We got lucky with the fireworks, but we couldn't even walk near. We couldn't even get on Main Street. Like literally, you know how normally the cast members stop people from blocking the walkways and stuff. Well, they
Yeah.
didn't. You couldn't walk in the hub. You couldn't walk on Main Street. We ended up finding a place to watch it, but it sure wasn't easy.
I tell you, I don't think I've been to one of these parties since 2008. That's how long it's been.
You're going to be
And
surprised.
I mean, this is the first one. We're going to go in 2 weeks, not this next Friday, but the Friday after. And we're going to go the night after we go to Horror Nights. So it'll be interesting to get a little contrasting, you know.
Hopefully you get some rest, because that to me sounds like a lot to do both of
Oh,
those.
we'll get some rest. You know, the thing is, when you're a pass holder, you don't have to like spend hours and hours and hours at the park. You know, we're going to Animal Kingdom that morning, and then probably about noontime we'll
I
dial
wanted
it back a bit.
I wanted to mention too. I only walked through here, but Monsters Inc. Laugh Floor also has a holiday twist, they call it, and basically they're doing a show, but it's a continuous show because you get candy in the queue for this, but then you can sit if you want, and the characters talk to you and stuff as you're going through. So that's the Halloween twist for
Yeah.
Monsters Inc. Laugh Floor.
I think they did that way back then too, at that point in time, and I think that's when I got on camera there, and I don't remember getting on camera, but my family reminds me that I got on camera, and I know you did too. That's a fun part of that.
Yeah, and I know we do it all the time, but my wife wanted to go on the Little Mermaid ride because there was no wait at all, so we just walked right on. So we did that, and then we tried to get a spot for the parade. Let's see, the Mickey's Boo to You Halloween parade.
That is the only parade that I will actually watch. It
Well,
isn't. I watched the Christmas one when we went to the Christmas party. I will watch that one, but that is probably my favorite parade, the Boo to You parade.
Well, here's the thing. I prefer to see parades as I'm walking, and you can kind of, catch parts of them and on Main Street and this and that. I feel like they didn't regulate the crowds at all, because I could not move anywhere to watch this parade with movement. Because again, I don't like to just sit there and watch the parade go by. I like to walk and capture clips while I'm walking, and
Yeah.
it's not my thing. And the other part is, I don't remember that they had this as much. There are glaring lights everywhere at the throughout the parade route. You can see whenever you have bright glaring lights, it makes the orbs and makes the video not look very good.
Yeah, it used to be dark, like a lot darker.
I have a feeling somebody fell or something, and then they went back to.
Maybe it's because of the rain, because it was wet.
No, it's been like that for a while.
Oh, okay. So, or were you like around Liberty Square? Is that what it looks
Yeah,
like
yeah,
where you're?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we were near the Hall of Presidents there from that view. We didn't even stay, but here's the other thing: the pirate float broke.
Oh.
And so we sat there, and for like 30 minutes, and they brought out a thing to tow it, and then they didn't tow it, and then all the other floats started going around it. But instead of seeing the parade, they just walked past, because they've already sat there for 30 minutes, and I don't blame them. Those characters, that is a strenuous job.
Yeah.
So they, like the Gravediggers, they just walked by.
Oh.
They,
That's like
they
one of the
didn't
best
do-
parts of the parade.
Oh, I know, but just imagine though that they literally were just stuck for like 30 minutes and this and
Yeah.
that. But so
I
I
don't
don't
blame
blame them, but
No.
Disney could not fix one parade float from moving. It took them like 30 or 40 minutes, and so you can see in this video that it's just sitting there, and everything behind it is backed up. So, and we did see the parade again later. They didn't have that float in it, so I'm not surprised. They should, it's broken somehow. But I
I'm
don't know. I
surprised
just
WDWNT wasn't all over that, posting like 20 across all their social media that a parade float
they might have
broke.
been. I didn't look. They probably did.
You know, uh,
But yeah, because of that, I feel like this is a newer one. I don't remember her from the other, parades. I think she's newer,
oh
but she
yeah,
just kind of walked
yeah,
by that. But she's really cool looking, and
yeah.
I got a better view of her later. So the next thing was, we did this, and then we we decided we wanted to watch the parade. And just remember, in between all this stuff, I'm going into the candy lines. They're not really that exciting, so I'm not bringing up all of them. They're all basically the same candy. They throw it in the bag. You can go in as much as you want. Like you could literally circle around till you can't carry candy anymore, probably. So that's pretty wide open. But we decided we better go um, figure out the parade. Let me see what this video.
And that last one that we looked at, just for the audio version of this, that was the bride from the haunted mansion. And she was all lit up. I mean, man, it was really cool. She's on
I'll
like
show
some
you.
kind of skates or
This is what it looks
something.
like trying to
Oh my
walk
goodness,
around
crowds.
near the parade route. This isn't the fireworks. This is just near the parade route.
How the heck do you even navigate through all that crowd?
Well,
It's like
that's what I'm saying.
looks like a rock concert.
I
My
really
goodness.
wish it was not. They didn't sell so many tickets, and I don't know if I got. Yeah, it looks like I. Oh, this is only 1 second. It's not going to show you much, but let's see. Sorry for the.
No, it's all right. Again, you're trying to show some of the fireworks crowds and stuff.
Well, yeah, basically, we walked down to the hub and could not get into the hub. You couldn't walk past the castle. We couldn't
Yeah.
get to Main Street, and we ended up going into one of the what used to be the Fast Pass fireworks viewing areas. They were just open, so we walked into one of them and walked around, and we found a pretty good spot. I had to use Zoom. I went over my wife's head so that I didn't block the people behind me, but we got a good spot for it. You can see
Oh
it.
wow,
It's
that's
not bad.
pretty. That's nice.
Yeah, so and that's with the Zoom on.
Yeah.
But I was happy with the place, but it was sheer luck that I even got that. I always credit my wife for having the patience and the optimism to find a place where I'm just like, forget it, we can't get it. Let's just give up.
Yeah.
And she's always says, no, we'll get it. Let's keep going. So, that little firework there was zero flying apparently. But anyway, the fireworks show was great. It's
I feel like it's probably one of the best fireworks shows at Magic Kingdom in my opinion.
it's the not so spooky spectacular. But again, here's the problem with the whole night. If you want to get a good spot to watch this, you need to go there way ahead of time. If you want to get a good spot to watch the Hocus Pocus show, you need to be waiting there ahead of time. If you want to see the parade, you got to be waiting there ahead of time. This party is 5 hours long, and if you're going to do trick-or-treating too, and you think you're going to ride rides, that 5 hours goes by so quick. And I don't know how people do it when they show, that they tried every treat there. I didn't even have time to think about a special Halloween cupcakes and all the stuff they have. And they do have special stuff. I didn't even have time to think about that because literally I went from this to this and, then I walked back and I wanted to see the Haunted Mansion because I love how they light it up. I didn't go on the Haunted Mansion because it was like an hour wait, but I love how they light up the Haunted Mansion. So I was using my new camera settings there. You can see how nice that looks. Like I really like that one. This is one I should download to play on the big screen. That might look cool. But I was gonna say, yeah.
So yeah, it's really lit up with all kinds of oranges and smoke and steam and all that stuff. What's that one next to it? What is going on there?
Yeah, sorry, I'm trying to.
Oh, no problem.
So the one next to it, to the left or right?
To the left.
Oh yeah, that's just yeah, that one was pretty cool too. And see, I specifically got these to be YouTube compatible too.
Mm-hmm.
So that was yeah, this one. I was just playing around with the angles and stuff, but you can see all of the stuff in there is really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know what they're doing now. Look, it says search Wally. I'm pretty sure I didn't type that.
So I guess the thing is with the crowds and everything, it makes it really like you almost have to go in with a game plan, right? I mean,
Yeah,
if you really want to like cover everything, you've really got to be well organized and like have in mind what you're going to do and keep your expectations around what you plan to do before the party, right? Because I mean, I don't think you can get everything in. Like, you're not going to be able to do all that stuff. Like, if you want to go see the Hocus Pocus thing, you need to be up there like half an hour or so before because people are crowding around that thing, you know?
yeah, and that's the point I'm trying to get across. That as much as I always sign up for these parties and I say, oh, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that and I'm going to try this and that and I'm going to watch this and I'm going to ride rides. It's like the Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, which I don't really even like that much, literally was a 70-minute wait.
Oh
And
my
that's
goodness.
at a party. I'm like, I just kind of give up on that at that point. So
I mean,
yeah,
the other thing is that you did not do apparently, and this is something that a lot of people yeah actually go to this party for, is to get the rare characters, pictures of the rare characters or autographs from the rare characters, you know, that are showing
yeah.
up.
Here's the thing about that. I heard from people at dinner that like to see Jack and Sally,
Yeah.
that people get there hours ahead of time
Oh
and
my
wait
goodness.
hours. And basically
Wow.
all of those lines were like an hour. I'm like, they were all extremely long, so I saw none of them. But again, how in the heck do you have time to wait hours to see Jack and Sally and see the fireworks and see the parade and get trick or treat? It's like there literally is not time for all that. And again, I think they're overselling the tickets because in theory you should be able to see your favorite characters, trick or
Yeah.
treat, see one of the parades. And again, maybe I'm just incompetent and I can't do it, but I don't see how the heck you do that. So, and I was going to say we can talk about that in a little bit, but to continue on this, after I saw the fireworks, you know, we walked towards. I got some pictures of the haunted mansion, and then my wife was like, "Well, the second showing of the parade is in like 20 minutes. Do you want to find a spot or do you want to?" I was like, I guess we have to because otherwise we're not going to see it. So let me see what time. We found a good spot, as you can see, without all those lights
Mm-hmm.
shining at it. So I was happy with that. And let's see, this was at 11:30. And so I found a good spot right next to a popcorn stand. But here's the weird thing. I was told by the people who work there, or mainly just one of the guys that works there. The other ones didn't seem to care that you can't stand in front of the popcorn thing. You have to leave it clear. Well, it turns out that he came out and basically watched the parade where he said I wasn't allowed to be, and he was really enjoying it and basically leaning in and blocking my view. And he's a cast member, and I'm like, my goodness, this is again. I really don't care at this point. I'm fine. It is what it is. But it just made me remember. Yeah, you can see him here.
Oh,
Again, there's nothing wrong with this.
yeah.
It's fine. But I can tell you the other people who worked that booth were behind they were in the cart area where they could see everything perfect. This guy came right out up against, and like, that's my view. And again, I try to be fair with things, but a few years ago, that guy's manager would have that guy's manager would not have been very happy about that. They would have said, you can't go out there and stand with the guests, watch the parade, But Disney has changed a lot in how they do things now. And again, the cast member was super nice, but I just thought that, I got hit in the face with his water bottle at one point too. I was setting up my camera. He turned around, and the water bottle he wears on his belt hit me right in the eye. I was like, oh, what a night. And to be fair, he didn't even notice, so I didn't say it. I'm not the kind of person that cares, but I just thought that was a bit odd. But yeah, look how cool.
Yeah, that's so cool. The bride.
But see, that's
bride from the Haunted Mansion. That is very, very cool. They've done such a great job with that. And she's kind of wheeling. There's like a wheeled thing underneath her, right? That makes her sort of look like a ghost, like she's kind of hovering around.
Yeah, I really liked her. I wanted to say, I think that this is the one where I got the Haunted Mansion dancers too, which were very impressive. Let's see if this is the video. There's the.
That is so cool. That's the bride.
Oh yeah, there's
just
that thing she does.
Along.
She does like the scary movements.
Yeah.
Let's see, maybe it's this next one. This is probably it. Yep, there it is. Then the dancers come next, and they were really good too.
Wow, that's
I know they're just dancing, but like look how into it they are. They come look, she comes right at the camera. Whoosh,
that's cool.
So they did such a great job. And I know everyone's watching the bride, but man, some of these dancers are just great. And maybe I'm biased for that too. My daughter was a dancer, so I tend to notice when I see talented people. I'm like, wow, I really notice it. But speaking of that,
can't beat Disney Entertainment. Like, their entertainers, just amazing.
I wanted to say, speaking of that, the Gravediggers, who earlier in the night just walked by because they were stuck in the same place for what should have been their whole performance, so they were probably exhausted. They were on fire coming out the second time. They really went all out. Such a good job. Again, I don't know where they get these guys. I was afraid they wouldn't be able to get them back after, with all the rehires and cuts in entertainment and stuff. But these guys do an awesome job, and yeah, they're just impressive to see in person. So I really did enjoy that. And
they actually have a pretty rigid training regimen, according to that one show that was on Disney Plus. That just kind of explained what they all the
I hope
training.
They pay them well, because again, some of these dancers are just
they are amazing.
Good. And again, I was kind of cynical about, are they really going to hire the people back? Are they just going to do it, not as well as they could? Kind of like the Christmas party last year. They came out with like 5 toy soldiers. It was kind of a sad thing to see. But it looks like they're bringing everybody back. So again, I may have to go to the Christmas party just to see, all the toy soldiers marching again, because that's pretty much the only part I like, the snow on Main Street and the toy soldiers. But anyway, the parade was great. If anybody wants to see it from our perspective, where we did here, the entire thing is on my Instagram account. My wife went live for the fireworks and the parade, and I posted it on there. I would love to put it on YouTube, but unfortunately, the entire thing is a copyright violation in one form or another. So I wouldn't really be able to share it in that same format. So I just went on, my Instagram followers appreciated it.
Which is why we can't play the sound whenever we're playing the clips, right? So, I mean, because you'll get copyright noticed.
So anyway, we watched that parade, and then, as you can tell, we didn't do a lot of rides tonight. What did we do? Like 2 rides. And again, we didn't spend time sitting on benches. We didn't really. And so again, I don't know. I feel like everyone does the party different. Some people are all about getting candy. Some people are all about rides. Some people want to see all the shows. I just don't think you can do all of it. I really don't. I think it's too much in that amount of time. I was mainly just there to get clips and videos for my social media accounts. But I can tell you at the end of the night, it was, let's see, this is why I like to reference it too. 11:52 at night, so it's getting late. We decided
your pumpkin was calling, man. Your carriage, you were you were gonna lose your dress.
My
dude.
wife and I were both saying there's nothing we like more than going to bed around 8:00. It's just great. So this is not our thing, but anyway, we decided there was 15 minutes to go. We were back by Frontier Land, and I said, well, let's ride Big Thunder Mountain because I don't ride it very often. I love at night. It's great. So we got in line, almost no wait at all. And then it was 11:55 when we got off. Let's see, I'll play a quick clip here of this one. This is going up the hill and looking over at the castle.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, there it is. It's not real clear, but you get the gist of it. Look how pretty that sky is, too.
Yeah.
It's just nice.
Post-rain cloud cover, right?
Yeah. So, there's the mountain ramps. So anyway, we got off this. It was 11:55. And at that point, I looked over at Splash Mountain and I told my wife, we're already here. Is there ever going to be another time we're going to be riding Splash Mountain at midnight? I said, this thing could go away anytime. I hate to just say, it's late. Let's go home and sleep instead. It was right in front of me. So we went on Splash Mountain and we got our own, as you can see from the queue there, I was just recording that nobody was in the queue.
Oh, that's great.
This is one I've waited 80 minutes for many times. While it's still there, still one of my favorite rides. So I just really, really like it. But as you can see at night, it definitely gives you
it's different.
A different vibe at night. Like it's, it was cool. So anyway, I rode Splash Mountain today.
What was your wait? What was your wait on that, by the way?
0 minutes. There was
0 minutes. Jeez. Wow.
Nobody was in line. But again, it was 5 minutes to midnight.
A lot of times on those party nights and the extra hour events and stuff, they close down Splash Mountain. They don't even do it. So the fact that you had it for a Halloween event, and they did back in 2008, they had it open then too. But man, that's special.
Yeah, that's like I said, I just wanted to do it. Like, look at that! I just love this picture.
Yeah, it looks great.
It's got the Splash Mountain with the castle glowing in the background. Oh yeah, we were the only ones in our log too, so that was also cool.
Yeah.
Let's see, I tried to snap a picture like there's looking out the thing at night.
Nice, yeah.
So is this where that hidden Mickey is too? I've never been able to see it, but people always comment and go, "Oh, there's the hidden Mickey at the top."
I wasn't even aware there was one.
Me neither. I don't know if it's the shape or maybe the nose is here. I don't know. It could be, but I've heard people say it, but I am just not.
I mean, I could see that as Mickey's nose, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know. That's interesting. I'll have to look next time.
But yeah, we rode Splash Mountain, and I always like to get, there's the picture coming back to the station. Um, this is an interesting one. Not that it should be, but oh yeah, I'm not going to play it anyway. Yeah, I wonder what happens. I'm going to test this. Never mind. I don't even see a place for the volume. That's all right. We'll figure that out in the
What were they
future.
playing? You were going into the Splash Mountain restroom, right? Were they
Well,
playing a certain type of song or
oh yeah,
music or
they were
something?
playing. I forget what they were playing. Some kind of Splash Mountain related song. But what the point I was going to make is obviously the restroom was empty. I wouldn't have been recording, so I
Right.
went in, checked the restroom. It was empty. So I came back out and did a walk in just so you could hear how loud the ambient music is
Uh-huh.
in that bathroom. And it's like that all over Disney that normally there's so many people there that you don't even hear it, but the
Yeah.
ambient music is actually so loud, you know. But I wanted to point that out, but again,
Hmm.
it's not
Interesting.
necessary. But there's another picture on the way out that I thought was pretty cool. The castle. I like how the reflection disappears down here. It kind of
Yeah.
fades in, like, and it almost looks surreal. Like there's people there, but it almost looks like it's a like this is no editing as of now. I didn't do anything to these,
Yeah.
so I just thought that was pretty. This was on the way out. The Hocus Pocus party was playing one more time at midnight, and I thought the party was over at noon. But again, so crowded I couldn't really see it. I don't really care about castle shows.
Hmm.
I apologize if it offends anybody, but I don't care about Hocus Pocus. My wife, on the other hand, was like, "You never saw Hocus Pocus?" I'm like, "No." I'm like, "I'm a Texas Chainsaw Massacre kind of guy. I don't need to watch Hocus Pocus. I'm sure it is good though." But anyway, I thought that was a pretty cool picture. You see Walt and Mickey and things going up.
Yeah.
But that was just as we were walking out. Um, got a couple of pictures of the pumpkins as we're walking out. The "See you real soon" sign, and then we walked back to the Grand Floridian and got to our car and called it a night. But so that's about it for the party. But what I wanted to talk about with the party again was manage your expectations, figure out what's important to you. Honestly, if I were on vacation, I would not worry about candy that much because it's going to get expensive to carry too much of it home in your luggage. You could just buy this candy. It's
Yeah.
like go to Walmart, spend $20, and you get all the more out of your Halloween party. You get. I'd rather spend the $20 buy my own candy and be able to ride more rides, be able to do more. So
I think if you
that's
have kids that are dressed up though,
oh yeah,
and
you're
you're
good.
kind of going there, it maybe is a different. Like I'd say you'd do something a little different. Like you would actually do the candy and trick or treat because that's the expectation of the kids. But if you're an adult and you're kind of going and you're like, man, I want to get the most bang for my buck. That's not the thing that you're gonna do, right? I
Yeah, I
mean,
don't. Yeah,
you
that's what I felt half embarrassed doing any of that too. Like even trick or
did you?
treating, I'm like, I almost felt like I should tell the cast member, I don't even want this stuff. We're just gonna give it out for trick or treat. But again, do you really think they care? They don't.
No,
They don't
they don't.
mind
They
trick
don't care.
or
It's a
treating.
job
But
for them to do it. But you know, a lot
but
of people
anyway,
dress up and go all out though, and really want to do. That's part of their deal.
oh no,
Like
I
you
think
can
that's
get what you
fine.
want out of the party. That's the thing. If you're going
Well,
for if that's part of your expectation when you're going, then you should definitely do it. But
well,
um,
anyway, my regular guy review is I I would not. do the party I would not do the Halloween party very often. I might go every 3 or 4 years. But for me, I have a social media account, and I needed the content for September, October. If I didn't have any social media account, I would probably skip Mickey's and still be going to Horror Nights.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where I am. But again, uh, definitely have a plan. I feel like I could not do everything, even if I wanted to, and so. And you got to remember too, at Disney, if something doesn't go right, even the best plans are gone. And how often did things go right? Like, I wasted about 30 extra minutes because the parade stopped the first time I tried to watch it. So I had to watch it the second time. But then I had to wait 20 minutes to get a good spot to see it the second time. And it's like, there goes almost an hour. And the party is only what, like 5 hours? That's 20% of your time has just been lost because of a parade incident. So,
and plus your rain, the rain can always.
The rain. Yep.
I'm telling you, when I went there the last time I went there and did the Halloween party, it did rain. It rained almost the whole night, and that kind of ruined the entire thing. I hadn't been back to one of those since because I just didn't want to blow the money to do it. Now, I have a little bit more disposable income, and I'm okay with doing it. And my wife really wants to go to the party. And hey, we're gonna have fun. But and again, let's say that this isn't really a comparison between Mickey's Not So Scary and Horror Nights, because there is no comparison. One is a family friendly, kind of more geared towards kids and families, and one is a traditional horror haunt type house with movie level special effects and things like that, So
yeah, don't take your kids to Horror Nights.
Yeah, you don't want to take your kids to Horror Nights, but you definitely could take your kids to this, and you could decorate or dress up for Halloween and things like that, and do trick or treating and enjoy some shows and stuff. The Horror Nights show at the back of the park is almost like a I don't even know what to call it, because like the entertainers are like half naked and stuff. So
oh yeah,
in leather, half naked, weird. I mean, it's just it's interesting.
But honestly, for me, I didn't even see that show last year. The one that's in the back. I just do the houses, but
yeah,
I'm a boring old guy that just wants to. I enjoy the creativity of the houses and the illusion of it. The fact that they make something look real that's not. It really is like walking into a movie. So.
Yeah, but
just really cool. But for me, there is a crowd that likes the other stuff too. So I don't begrudge anybody for it. But.
Yeah, but I mean, for Mickey's, it is what it is, and the thing is, it is a return to tradition, right? I mean, this pretty much has everything that the traditional party used to have before, 2019, 2020, or whatever it was, 2020, right? And
I did want to mention though too, I did not see the Headless Horseman.
Well, my understanding is that the Headless Horseman goes away when it rains. Like, they don't bring that out, because the first night I guess they brought him out, and the horse almost slipped and fell, going down the street. So they just haven't done that during rainy nights. So I mean, that's what you can expect to see, I think.
No, that's
if it rains.
I don't mind it. I just thought having a little bit of footage of that would have been cool. But again,
it would have been.
I don't need to see it. I definitely don't want the horse to be injured for doing it. So
right, yeah. But man, the fireworks show though, right? I mean, it always impresses, right?
Yeah, but I was gonna say, make sure you get there early for the fireworks, because it was dumb luck that I was able to even get a decent spot. And a lot of people in the live were commenting when they went, they could not even see the fireworks. They were blocked by trees and people and this and that. And it's like, I credit my wife for that one again. Like without her, I probably would have just got frustrated and walked away. So
Yeah.
she found a spot. So she listens to me complain and fixes. Thank goodness I married someone who can fix problems. That's a good thing.
That's good.
But I was gonna say that's about it for the party. This is not a thorough review, just a little bit of reality, I guess, of the of the party. When you will be going to at some point, I'm excited to hear the contrast. Hopefully you heard what I did and you can make adjustments and do things a little different if you think that's what you need to do.
Well, that's kind of what I was going to say, is that by you saying these things, I can actually sit down with my wife and say, okay, what's our expectations? What are we going to do? We're going to have to plan it out a little bit and come up with a game plan as to what we're going to do. I fully expect it to be busy. So
it'll be sold out. I can all but guarantee always sold out.
Yeah, I think every night up until that night, for the most part, is sold out. So that night wasn't yet. It may be now. I don't know. But
well, people, even the night of, people will be showing up to do it. But I think for you as an out-of-towner who's flying back, I would don't line right up for trick-or-treating. You could definitely do it, but wait till later. There'll be no lines at all. And because you're not going to want 50 pounds, it's going to cost you more to take it back than it's going to. You just want enough to snack on while you're here a little bit. And if you're leaving the next day, don't get too much. Like I said, it's not worth it. Go to Walmart, buy your candy. I don't think you're not going to, are you bringing out, you're not bringing little kids with you this time. So
no, it's just us.
You guys won't mind not trick-or-treating. Again, go through a couple lines and get some candy to snack on that night, but I wouldn't say for my wife and I, we wanted to get candy to hand out the trick-or-treaters to help defray the cost. So whether or not that happens and I end up eating most of it, I don't know. I hope not.
Well, this is your first Halloween in that house, right? So you don't know what you're going to get in that neighborhood. So
I don't think I don't think it'll be a huge turnout for Halloween.
So they give you like bags or something? What do they give you at the party?
They're very small bags. That's a good question too. It's in my kitchen right now. I didn't bring it, but they're very small bags. So I did see a lot of people who had Disney reusable shopping bags and things like that. There were some people that had a major haul there,
Yeah.
And again, if that's your thing, if you're going there to see if you can beat your record from last year of how much candy you can get, whatever, if that's what you enjoy, that's cool too. Because I saw some people with major stuff. But I did want to tell you though too, trick or treating, especially early, that bag gets heavy. And if you have a backpack or whatever, like my wife went live during the fireworks and she had her bag of candy on her arm and her arms were literally shaking by the end, just holding the thing up. And it was just, remember that stuff is heavy. And even just like 5 pounds carried around for 5 hours, it turns into pain. It turns into pain over time. It really does. Maybe not for everybody, but for most people you're definitely going to feel it. And I did. My whole backpack was full of candy and my wife bought like a mug and it was definitely heavy and I could feel it pulling down on my shoulders over time. And I'm like, between that and wet feet, it added a little damper to the night.
So it was there was exclusive merchandise to the party too, right? So
my wife said that she couldn't get near the merchandise. She went in to look at the Emporium.
Yeah.
And I went to take pictures because I already spent a lot of money to go to that party. I didn't really want to buy some stuff. So she said she couldn't even get near it. It was so crowded with people wanting to buy. So I guess that's the thing too. Plan when you want to do that. I wouldn't do it early. Well, I guess I'd do it early, meaning first thing, or late. But it will close at midnight. Though all those stores were closed on the way out. So
Yeah. Okay.
but yeah, that's a good thing to think about too if you want merchandise. You know what I noticed too? There actually was a dessert party they were getting ready for too. And based on the staff they had there, they had like 50 cast members lined up to serve the dessert party, which I guess is for when the fireworks go on. So I said to my wife, so people are paying to get in for the party and then even more for the dessert party. And then that's even less that they can do, I guess.
Wow. I had no idea that they were even doing like a dessert
I didn't know
party
that
type
either.
deal.
Like it seems like it seems like an overlapping thing. Like how
Yeah.
you're already at a Christmas party and then you're going to the dessert party within the Christmas party, and I'm like, it's just
So
a
they're
little
like
weird.
double, triple dipping, triple dipping if you consider, the
I don't know how you
merchandise.
have
And
time to do all that. Like I
I don't
said,
either.
I looked at, and even like it was like 40 minutes for Peter Pan yet, and I'm like, there were certain rides you could walk on, but man, I'm just it doesn't meet my expectations. But again,
Yeah.
I'm a middle-aged guy that does not have any little kids with him, so what are my expectations for a Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween party? But
Well, I think that's important though. And I think it's important to say that planning is and not planning the Disney Genie app way, but planning as to what your expectations are, plan around your expectations and do those things that you're going to the party for, and keep in mind that you're probably not going to get to every single little thing. So if your expectation is I have to see the Hocus Pocus show, I have to see the parade, I have to see the fireworks,
if
you're
you
not going to get much else done.
you have to see Jack Skellington and Sally, then
Yeah.
that's what you paid for your ticket, because you ain't
Yeah,
gonna be able to
because
see much else.
character meet and greet for Jack
Yeah,
and Sally
that's the
is,
funny thing. I said I wasn't able to do so much, and I didn't even see any characters. I didn't wait for any of that. So again, either I am missing something major, or it's very limited what you can do there. And with the crowds, like I said, that in summary, I've been to these parties many years ago, and the crowds were lighter. Where I walked right up, I would see the parade. I'd walk up, I could see the fireworks without the huge crowds. It felt like an average night, a very crowded Magic Kingdom there. So it did not feel light at all. And I went throughout like 2020 too, when the crowds were real low.
mm-hmm.
Basically, the rides were very similar to what it was like before Lightning Lane. So not much, just a little bit lighter, but basically the same. Like when Lightning Lane wasn't there, you could always walk on Voyage of the Little Mermaid, and
Mm-hmm.
Haunted Mansion was usually 30 or 40 minutes. Same. It's like it felt very similar to that. So, but yeah, the crowds are not lighter, and that makes me not enjoy it anywhere near as much. Like I don't really see. If I was on vacation, I probably would have been disappointed. But my favorite time at Disney is non-holiday times. So I
Yeah.
like regular Disney.
I mean, for me, if you're going for the rides, I would just pick the ones out with the overlays, right? And if that's what you're into,
Well,
and
I didn't
so
even go to Pirates. That had a Halloween twist too. But I think that's just pirates in the queue, or maybe that pop out of the ride or whatever. I've seen that in the past, and I don't. I don't know. I'm a grumpy old guy. I didn't care. I was like, nah. And even if I wanted to, I don't know when I would have done it. I
yeah,
feel like I really only had time to go on rides, only the ones with no wait. At the last 15 minutes, I went on a couple good rides. But
yeah. Yeah, gotcha.
So yeah, I guess that's about the synopsis for it. Hopefully the visuals helped a little bit with
Yeah, yeah.
our discussion of it.
All right, John. How did your social media go for the week?
Well, I was going to say it's the last time we talked was a couple of weeks ago, and I just hit 100,000 on my Instagram account, which I was very happy about. But the minute it hit 100,000, it pretty much just collapsed. And I downloaded a couple of screenshots just to see how this comes across. Let's see, which one is this? This is my SeeWDW account, and my reach is down by 51% in the last 30 days. Around in August 11th, I think, is when I hit my 100,000, I think. But anyway, this one doesn't show it well, but my reach was more than cut in half. This number here, the 2.5 million, it was close to 6 million, a month ago. I don't have it on the screen, but my new followers went to almost nothing, like 20 some followers a day if I'm lucky. And this is from, at my peak though, I got 1,500 new followers one day in July, and now I'm down to like 20. And that's if I try really hard. Like I really went all out trying to put up good content, and I tried things that have worked in the past and all that, and nothing I do matters. But over the last 2 weeks, like 20 to 30 people a day, I made it to 101,000. So I do feel very accomplished with that. I'm like 101,000. And I talked to somebody about it yesterday, and they said they have friends. The same thing happened. They hit 100,000 and they were just cut. It was like they were no longer supported. They're no longer pushed. And I'm like, luckily, it's probably just temporary. But in contrast, this is what I wanted to show you. Like, see the 2.5 million in 30 days? Here is my Universal, which used to be such a smaller account. Now, this reached 5.8 million in the last 30 days. And it's only up 1.2%, meaning the previous 30 days, I was still at 5 point some million. Like it's maintaining a steady flow and doing great. And, I have so many million plus views on there. I think on my Disney one, I've had 2 ever. For the most part, everything's low. Wow, just while we were on, I hit 88,000 followers on my Universal account. And all I can say is I am very happy that I have my Universal account, because if I didn't, I would be thinking to myself right now, I've consistently posted and worked on getting new content for over 5 years, and then they just throw you to the curb when you hit 100,000 and say, too bad, it doesn't matter. So I would probably be kind of depressed about that. But luckily, I still have my Universal that I'm able to just look at that account and be like, wow, that account was always a fraction of my Disney account. Now it's only 12,000, so they're about equal. So that's amazing that Universal is coming up to really take it out. And a couple of years from now, I'm hoping I'm in a good place to for when people start saying, "Wow, what's going on with Epic Universe?" I'm saying, hopefully they come to my account to look. So.
I think you're going to overtake. Like, it looks like that one's going to overtake your Disney account eventually.
Yeah, it really might. Unless Instagram finds out it's the same person, then they might just say, neither of you deserve to be seen, and that's the end of it. So.
Well, I mean, the thing is, the Disney market is pretty flooded. So, I mean, there may be a reason for that. Like the Universal market is not as much. There's not a lot of content creators that have been out there doing it as long as you have been, and at least in the Universal space. So,
Well, I still feel like it was going a certain way, and then all of a sudden one day, just out. And what it seems to me too is after it may be the 100,000, it may be something else. I did a ask me a question thing in my stories too, right around this time, and I think some people might not have liked my answers. Which, if you report somebody, basically their reach is cut, they're not recommended, this and that. So if you have anybody who you're mad at on Instagram, or maybe a competitor that you don't like, or for what, just report them on Instagram, and Facebook will knock them down. It doesn't have to be true or anything, just say I didn't like something they said, so I'm going to report them. So just remember, that's always an option.
yeah,
I wish it wasn't, but I don't think I'm going to answer any more questions on Instagram.
well, it seems to be a thing. Like right now, everyone expects you to line up with a certain point of view, and you have to follow, and that
I just tried to be honest,
Yeah.
And again, I didn't say anything political, nothing bad. I was just being honest, and they didn't like my answer. And then I looked back later, and the person I think might have reported me, I went back and they weren't there anymore. So I think they blocked me and this and that. So wouldn't be surprised. And all I did was ask them an if-then question based on what they told me. I said, well, if I won't get into it because I don't want to get thrown off YouTube as well. But I just said, if what you're saying is true, then this must be true too. They didn't answer. They just like I said, my if-then statement. I'm kind of a logical person. I don't think they liked it much, and there's a good chance I got reported at that point too. But it's my own fault for answering honestly. From now on, I'm going to answer like a politician.
Yeah.
I'll say, "What do you want to hear?" That's what I think too. Good job. We'll keep it at that.
Then your growth will be back up to 2,000 a day.
Yeah, well, again, that's right when the growth completely died. So,
Yeah.
and it could be because I had 100,000 too, and nobody reported me. But when I looked at what shadow ban meant, it's not really a thing, but there is something that happens. And one of the big things is when you get reported, your account behaves in a certain way, and it fit perfect for me. So I was like, but why would anybody report me? And the one person was the closest I could get because, like I said, they asked me a question and I said, well, if that's the case, then wouldn't this be the case too? And they blocked me, which means they didn't like that question a lot. So they could have done more than block me. I don't know.
Well, all I can say is I hope that works for politicians and political ads, because every time I get a political ad on YouTube, I report it for for something. It probably doesn't because they're paying money. So it's not a specific party or person. It's just like I get so sick of seeing them, I just start reporting them because every political ad's going to have some level of not being true in it. So I report every single one of them for, false information. So,
All right. So, and on my TikTok, I'm up to 61,800. And I was going to tell you, for anyone looking, I think TikTok saw that Instagram was letting smaller creators get new followers now. Mm-hmm. So all of a sudden, TikTok's doing it too. And luckily on TikTok, I'm not that big. So I feel like all of a sudden I started growing again, where I was stagnant forever. So I think they were competing on, like all the social media people were like, wow, you actually have a shot on Instagram. Let's go there instead. So then TikTok was like, oh no, we're going to support you too. We're just as good. So
Yeah,
And
I'm
I
seeing some
always,
growth there too. It's not just you, so you're right about that.
yeah, I really think that's what's happening. Because again, my TikTok is not that great. I'm not really a fan of my own stuff. I, but the people that I follow on TikTok, I like informational stuff. I like, I actually like to learn with it, which sounds
Hmm.
weird because most of TikTok is honestly just terrible. But the few people that I follow, I actually learn stuff from it, and I really like it. But
Hmm.
again, I see other people's TikToks, and it's tailored towards what you like. And again, I see other people's, and I'm like, man, that's terrible, just awful stuff. But and I was gonna say too, we're on YouTube right now, and it looks like it says we have 2 followers right now, so that is not a bad thing. I would not have been surprised with 0 to start out with, but I think we're up to almost 1,500 subscribers on YouTube. So if people really hate this podcast, we still will be posting other stuff. Just don't watch these. It's we won't push them at you if you don't want to hear them.
We'd appreciate if you did,
Oh yeah, I
but
would love it. I would
we also
love it
have
if you did.
the audio format, which goes out on every Monday, on any pretty much all your favorite podcatchers. But yeah,
Yeah,
this is
and
something
just
new.
as a reminder, this podcast we've been doing it for years.
Yeah.
It is not a thorough anything. We're not going to tell you. I joke sometimes and say I'm going to tell you every single item at the Food and Wine Festival and rate it from 1 to 1,000. It's like,
Yeah.
no, I won't be doing that. This is more how normal, regular people would do Disney stuff. And
Right.
that's why I say a lot of times to a regular guy review, I'm not getting anything special, and Disney doesn't give me anything to review anything. So I'm just honest about it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, and that's true. And I would also say that we're 108 episodes in, and
yeah.
so this is our first live on YouTube. So
Oh yeah, and just so
bear with
everybody
us.
knows too, if you're already here, you might have figured it out. But we usually do it in 3 sections. We
Yeah.
do, what happened at the park, a main section, which could be news, it could be something just informational, whatever, and then we do the social media thing. So
Yeah. And
just talk about how it's going on social media, so you can listen to some of it, all of it. In the future, maybe we could do timestamps at those parts,
yeah. Yeah.
so maybe there'll be some people that only want to hear about the topic and don't care
Hmm.
what I did in the parks, and some people that only want to hear social media stuff, and some people that don't want to hear it at all. So
Yeah, and I will say our discussion section is usually experience driven. It's not really we're not a history podcast. We're not we're not going to give you a lot of like highbrow reviews or anything. Like John says, a lot of regular guy type reviews. It's a lot of just experience based things. How did what we saw at the parks affect us and our families, or others around us, and so on and so
yeah,
forth? So it's
and
not necessarily well, this is definitely the way it is, and you've got to do this and you've got to do that. That's not it. We're not getting anything from Disney or anything else right now, as far as like promotional stuff to push their events or anything like that. So and even if we did, to be honest with you, we'd probably still be pretty honest, right, John? I
yeah,
mean,
they probably uninvite me fairly quickly when I say I. And I can't help myself, which is why I wouldn't be surprised if I got reported on Instagram. Because I actually have a job. I have a full-time job. I have a part-time job. So if somebody gets me banned from social media, I won't be happy about it, but it's not going
you'll
to.
survive, right?
Yeah, it's not
Like
going to put me at a financial risk or anything. So I'm.
I also have a full-time job, so yeah. But
But
okay,
hey,
John, does that cover your social media for the week?
yeah, I think so. I think so. It's Disney is down, Universal is up, and I don't know why yet. I hope something shakes loose with some of it, but we'll see.
All right. All right. Well, that should do it for this week. Where can they find you online, John?
You can find me at C.WDW on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, CWDW on YouTube, C.UO on Instagram and Facebook.
All right. And
So
you
I
can
do all that and two jobs.
and you can find me at the Giant Rat, THEE Giant Rat, on Instagram and on TikTok. And that should do it for this week. We will see you on the next one. And thank you for tuning in, by the way, on our first live podcast here on YouTube. We will be back next week.